Assalamu alaikum. Today we have with us one aspirant who has taken the CSS examination. As you all know, the competitive examination is one of the most toughest exam in the country, and it is one which lands you into the most prestigious jobs in Pakistan. We have with us today Mr. Muhammad Sohaib. Let's learn from him how his struggle went. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
So, Sohaib, tell us a bit about yourself, introduce yourself.
Right, so my name is Rana Sohaib Khalid. I was born in Multan but raised mainly here in Islamabad. I did my metric and intermediate exams from OPF Boys College. After that, I joined EME College NUS for my bachelor's degree. Then I worked for 1 year for a multinational corporation, and then I decided to pursue the civil services exams. And in the meantime, I have also been pursuing a master's degree and while simultaneously appearing in the civil services exam. So, and this time I have cleared it. I have secured the 22nd position in Pakistan, and I have been allocated in the Foreign Services of Pakistan.
MashaAllah. So, Sohaib, tell us a bit about what was your motivation behind taking the competitive examination, because you know that not everyone goes towards this path.
Right. So as I mentioned, I was working in the private sector, and the element of job satisfaction was definitely missing there. The pay structure may be better in the private sector, but the chance to serve your country, and particularly in the Foreign Services of Pakistan, the chance to represent your country was something that was very intriguing for me. And that was one of my primary motivations, that I want to have a career where I'm actually making a difference to the betterment of my country and my people, and that is why I decided to switch my career and move into the civil services domain.
So, when you were taking the exam, was it already in your mind that you would want to serve the foreign service, or?
Right. Yes. So, foreign service has always been my personally my first preference. As I mentioned, the chance to serve and represent your country at the highest of forums and being a representative of your country is certainly an honor, and it is one of the highest honors one can have. And this was my main motivation. There is no other job in this country or anywhere else where you can represent your country and be a spokesman for your people. And this was certainly an intriguing career path for me, and that is why joining the foreign services really was my prime motivation for joining the civil services in the first place.
Right. So, do you have any family members that are already CSPs, or?
No, I am the first civil servant from my family, and even from my village and even from my background area, there is no other civil servant.
MashaAllah. So that must have been a great achievement for
Indeed,
your family.
indeed. We all know that this is a great achievement, and my whole family was very proud of this. And I'm very lucky to have a very supporting and very accommodating family who has always been very encouraging. And my parents, and especially, have had a huge part in my journey. And I'm always, like, I think for all of us, we are always indebted to our parents for all that they have done for us, and this is no different for me.
Exactly. So, Sohaib, they say that once you're taking the CSS exam, you need to isolate yourself and keep yourself busy with books, obviously, because it requires a lot of preparation.
Right.
So, do you think that emotional support is also part of the journey? You need people to support you, to leave you alone for some time, and you feel that you go through emotional changes throughout the journey as well?
Right. So starting from emotional support, yes, that's very true. This is a long journey, and oftentimes you're alone in it, and people who haven't really appeared in competitive examinations don't really know about the mental toll it takes on you. So yes, you need that emotional support, that family support, and again, I'm tremendously lucky to have it. As to your other question about isolation, I don't think that's a very good strategy. And at least for my case, I did not really isolate myself that much. Has to be a set routine, and I followed my routine. And as you have mentioned, that you need to study a lot. But if you cut off yourself from everything, I think that is the surest way of burning yourself out. So you have to take your time. This is a marathon and not a sprint race. So you have to pace yourself. So in that regard, I would say that I really did not isolate myself that much, but I really did have to study a lot. I think like a lot of us who have appeared here.
Right. So there's this misconception that people think that only if you're belonging to an elite family
Right.
will land into a job. Otherwise, it's a race with no end. Do you
Right.
think that's true?
I definitely do not agree to this statement. As I mentioned, there has been no other civil servant in my family, no one in bureaucracy or politics or even in the military. So I do not really believe in this statement. And I do come from a you can say, well-off family, but there are many aspirants here, and there are many qualifiers in my batch. I know many of my friends who have had to see difficult financial circumstances and even very limited family support, and yet they have achieved this goal of clearing the civil services. So I do not believe in this statement, and I think that it's more of a matter of your own personal hard work and dedication, and how you try your best. So if you think that having some connections or some previous experience is gonna make or break this for you, then I'm sorry, this is not the case.
All right. And what about there are also some misconceptions that if you have a foreign degree or if your education is from abroad,
Right.
then the interview panel is going to favor you because obviously in the written exam they can't see you.
Right.
In the interview, they're face to face with you. And if you introduce yourself as someone who has been abroad, they say, well, it's a conception that you will be favored in the interview. Do you think it's true? What do you think from your experience?
No, I have a foreign degree myself, but I can honestly say that I was drilled quite hard. I think everyone finds the panel uh, tailor made to his or her own background profile. I do not think there is any such thing as favorability. However, the fact that having the chance to study abroad and live abroad does help with your communication skills in English. So I think that could be an edge. But we see that today Pakistan's universities are really producing outstanding graduates, and the best students from universities like NAST or LUMS or other top tier institutes have excellent communication skills. In fact, if I can say this. That majority of the aspirants or the people who have cleared do not have a foreign degree, and yet many of them have had tremendous scores in the interview process and in the written exam. So again, as you have started this question off, it is a misconception, at least in my opinion.
Okay. So speaking about English, as you said, it is one of the most important elements of this examination because
Right.
obviously the written is entirely in English except a few subjects. So what do you think that if a person hasn't been educated in English medium schooling and college, is it a tougher exam for them compared to people who have been in English medium schools and not from very humble beginnings?
Right. So I don't agree to this statement. I think that, of course, your education background matters, and coming from good institutes really helps you develop your English speaking skills at an early age. But we have so many examples now. My colleagues, I won't name them right now, but there are numerous of my colleagues who have not had the same schooling as I have or others have had in English medium schools. They have come from Urdu medium backgrounds, and yet they have done amazingly well. We have many examples in this batch, and I'm sure there will be in the previous batches as well. English is a language, and language is another skill that you learn over time. And the more you practice it, the better you get at it. So I think it's again a matter of practice. Of course, having a good education and good schooling is very important for other aspects of your personality and career development. But as far as just the English language is concerned, I think with the right guidance and the right preparation, you can do as well as anybody else. I think we have had trouble moving away from this concept of that English medium schools are really the only way forward. I think the quality of education has to be improved overall, irrespective of the medium of education. But yes, the more you practice, the better you get at anything in the world and in your life.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about your journey. How was it? You used to wake up and start studying, or
Right.
what sort of routine did you have?
Right. I would say that that is a personal choice, and it varies from person to person. I tell that to every aspirant that I come across, that find a timetable that suits you. Some people study better in the morning, some in the evening. Some people have jobs simultaneously or pursuing other things. So you have to think what is best for your own particular life, and what are your strengths and weaknesses. So for me personally, I used to study 6 to 8 hours a day, and then I would do this in chunks. So it's not been like I would start at 8 in the morning till 2 or 3 in the evening. So I would study for an hour or two, and then take a short break, and then do something else, and then resume it. So I have found that style to be effective for me throughout my academic career. So if someone is able to study for just 4 hours and do as much work, then that's all right. And if someone is studying 10 to 12 hours a day, that's all right as well. It all depends on you, really. I would say that routine is very important. So make a routine and stick to it. Set your daily goals. So break down the syllabus you have to cover into smaller chunks, set your targets, and then move accordingly from there. That's more important, instead of worrying about how many hours someone is studying or other things. Just find a timetable that works for you, and then stick to it. The habit of following a routine is very important.
Right. So, do you think that academies play a role in helping you to score better? Because people believe that unless you go to an academy, you can't score well. And then there are also some who believe that academies are not really doing any role except just making business. So, what do you think about it? Do they really play a supporting role in educating you on, how to attempt the exam, and maybe support you a little bit about the skill to write better answers?
All right. So again, this is a personal choice. In my opinion, for some subjects, you do need the guidance. So it may not be an academy. You can find a teacher that you are comfortable with, or a mentor who can tell you what to do and what not to do. So, for example, the English papers. It's not just a test of your skills, it's also a test of your organizational abilities, and it's also a test of your grammar and all the other aspects of the language. So and it has its own sort of I can say a hidden set of rules that are not really obvious to everyone. So if you think you have the right guidance, then you don't really need to go to academies, at least not for every subject. There are many online resources that you can consult and prepare on your own. But for some subjects like the English essay or the English Pressy, at least in my experience, you do need the guidance. But this is a digital age, and we have many options to have this guidance online, or via online classes, or just on video resources, video based resources like YouTube or Coursera, or anything else that you might find comfortable. As I said, it's a personal choice. I think that having some guidance is important. The way to attempt the paper is also an art, and time management and all these things are important. So if you can get this knowledge without joining an academy, that's all right. But as I said, everyone needs a teacher and a mentor. So if you have someone to look up to, and more importantly, someone who can point out what you're doing wrong, that's quite invaluable in such a competitive exam.
Right. So I can see, mashallah, you've scored really high in English Pressy, and
Right.
that's one of the exams that students find really difficult
Right.
in the CSS journey. So can you tell us a little bit about how you practiced, or how you prepared for the CSS Pressy, and how you were able to score so well, mashallah?
Right. So I secured 82 marks this year, and even in my 3 attempts, I have done well in the Pressy paper. And again, English is a language and a skill. So I've had plenty of practice over time. So that's what I tell anyone who's preparing for it, that practice as much as you can of writing the Pressies, and developing your vocabulary is another important and integral aspect of this paper, because vocabulary really it really is important, in not just for the Pressy paper but for all the other exams. And if you have that command over the language, which is really, it's just a matter of practice again, and going through those words and going through this pedagogy of remembering. So if you can go through that, then it's not that difficult. In this regard, I would definitely like to mention my teacher, Sir Mureed Jasra, who has really helped me a lot in both the exams, in the essay paper and the Pressy paper. And I am very much indebted to him for helping me in clearing this exam, and definitely getting good scores in both of these exams. So I'm very much lucky to have a very good mentor and teacher in this regard.
Right. So about the Pressy exam, some people say that unless you memorize all the vocab words, you can't score really well.
Right.
And there are some who believe that if you're good in Pressy and comprehension, then at least you can pass the exam. But
Right.
obviously, you know that the vocab list is too long.
Right. No, of course, that's an unrealistic thing to say, that you have to remember everything. By developing your vocabulary, I mean that going through books and newspapers and writing down the words that you come across, and then remembering those words that we use in our everyday lives. So you should consult good standard research papers, or even the good newspapers that we have in our country. If you can go through that without really needing to consult a dictionary, then I think your vocabulary is good enough. As compared to the other question, I think both aspects are very important. You can't score good marks in Pressy without actually having a good vocabulary, as well as having command over the Pressy writing, comprehension, translation exercises. So it's like you have to do both things if you want to get really good scores, and I think that's true for any of the subjects that we see as well. For Pressy in particular, again, practice as much as you can, and then try and go through the word list as much as you can. But it's not just about if you remember these words, this is going to come in the exam. The last year's paper is a lesson for all of us in this regard, I would say. But the benefit of going through this exercise is that it helps you not just in the Pressy paper, but in all the other exams as well. So working for the Pressy paper and the essay is really setting the base for the foundation that you're building for your entire preparation. So that's very critical in my opinion.
Right. So as you mentioned, it was your third attempt, and I think that's way forward for a lot of people, because some
Right.
people quit in the first attempt if they're unsuccessful. So speaking from your experience, how would you motivate such people?
Right. I'm going to be honest. It's not easy to motivate yourself after failing twice, and we see many examples all around us. People who have cleared the essay on their or the entire exam on their first attempt. Some people have cleared it twice even. So it's not good to get demotivated. If you think you can do something, don't let anyone else tell you any different. You have to believe in yourself and in your abilities, and then you must not give up, because that's not what we do. There will be difficult times in your life, in your professional life and in personal life, and whoever goes through this, whoever stays strong and pushes forward, I think those are the people who really make it in the end. We have numerous examples of people who have cleared the CSS exam twice or thrice, and then we have people who have not cleared it a single time. I think the self-belief factor is very important. How you get back up when you fall down, that's critical. To all those aspirants who have not made it the first time or the second time, I would just like to say that if you think you can do this, then don't let these marks sort of dampen your spirits. If you believe that you have what it takes, then just need to put in the hard work and the dedication, and don't worry about the results, because that is something that's out of our hands. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written some things for us that is destined for us. All we can do as mortals is to just work hard and do our best. And if you are going to give up now, then really I don't think this is the career for you, because it's very demanding and it's high pressure situations, and it's like you have the stake of so many people in your hands. So if you don't think you can handle the pressure, then this may not be the career for you after all. But if you think you have it, then don't get dispirited by your failures, because everyone in life goes through such moments, and uh, this is the time to prove your mettle. And if you think you can do this, then you must be the one who is working hard and doing your best to achieve your goals and ambitions.
Indeed. So congratulations, Sohaib, and thank you so much for your advices and great words. And we wish you best of luck for your future.
Thank you, ma'am.
So Sohaib, as you know that some people are not able to score well in their first attempt and then they give up. Sometimes people give up after their second attempt. So as you mentioned, this was your third attempt. And mashallah, you've scored the 22nd position in Pakistan now. So that's a great success story. How would you motivate other people to go for it again if they're unable to do it the first time?
Right. I would like to start off by saying that I'm very lucky that I have had the support from my family and my friends to have the courage and the abilities and the resources to go through these 3 attempts. So first of all, that's one thing. I've had a lot of support from all around, and that was the defining and the deciding factor in me securing a good position this time and actually clearing the exams. To all those friends and colleagues and aspirants who are thinking of appearing in the civil services or who have appeared and have not made it this time, I would just like to say that you have to believe in yourself. Uh, Self-belief is the key to success, not just for the civil services, but for all the other exams or all the other things in life that you may come across. There will be many doubters and people who won't believe in you or people who will demotivate you. At the end of the day, it's you who has to pick yourself up. And if you think you can do this, if you think you have the right skills, the aptitude, and the right personality to actually be the civil servant and be of service to this great country, then there's no one that can tell you otherwise. You have to get yourself back up. I know it's very difficult. I have failed twice, and starting the process again, going through all of this again, and starting your preparations again is really, really quite tough. But if you have the goal, if you have the desire, and if you put in the hard work, then you will. I am sure that many of you will be able to do this. Man can only work hard, try his or her best, and then there are some things that are in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If this is meant for you, no one can take it. But it's your job and your responsibility to work hard. I have not played. I didn't even clear the written exams twice, but this time I have got good scores in it, and I did well in the interview process as well. And now, as you mentioned, I have secured the 22nd position. And not just me, there are so many examples of people I have come across in my batch and many of my seniors as well who have had a similar story, who have gone through disappointments and struggles in life, and then they have made it. So it comes down to you. Just remember that the days that break you are the days that make you. So if you can get yourself back up together, if you can have that courage within you, then inshallah, I'm sure that you will make it as well.
So Sohaib, as you know that some people are unable to score well the first time and then they give up on it. And sometimes people go for another attempt, but they're unsuccessful in that too. But speaking from your experience, mashallah, you've scored the 22nd position after your third attempt. So how would you motivate other people to go for it again if they haven't been able to be successful the first time?
Right. I would start off by saying that I am tremendously lucky in the sense that I have had great family support in all aspects of life, and they were my real motivation in getting back up and pursuing this exam again. As you said, that it's very difficult for anyone who wants to clear this exam and then seeing the failure and not making it. I think it just comes down to your own self-belief. I never doubted myself, and I knew that I could do this and clear this exam. So if you have that self-belief and if you know that you can do this, then don't let anyone else tell you any different. If you think you have the right skill set, if you think you have the right personality and the aptitude for this job, then all you have to do is work hard and leave the rest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because that's all what we can do as men and women. We have to just work hard, try our best, and then let fate sort things out for ourselves. Uh, Again, I would mention that the days that break you are the days that make you. Those are the times when you know about yourself and know about your friends and know about your family, who stands with you and who doesn't. So if you have had this misfortune of not making it the first time, uh, this does not define you. It's only up to you how you prove yourself and how you prove to the world that you are able to do this, or not just the civil services exam, but for any other career that you may have, or any other aspect of your life. There will be naysayers, people who will demotivate you, but with the right guidance, with the right attitude, and your belief in yourself and in Allah, that Allah Ta'ala has written something for you that is going to be best for you. So with these things, and then with a lot of hard work, I think any of us can make it and achieve their goals, not just related to the civil services, but to any other aspect of their lives.
Thank you, Sohaib, for your insightful words and your advices for the future aspirants, and we wish you best of luck for your future.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Right, so we hope that you liked the first interview that we've just taken, and keep in touch with us, keep watching our channel for more such interviews of success stories.